In this tutorial, I'm going to talk you through how to do a case for the Year 8 piano. So first of all, we're going to use 2D design. I'm just going to open that up. Okay, now the first thing I need to do is I need to make a space that's going to fit the PCB. So I'm going to grab a rectangle and I'm just going to plonk that in like that. Okay, I'm not worried about the dimensions or anything like that. I'm going to make that red. Obviously red is the color of cutting, so I'll highlight that. So just, sorry, let me go a little bit slower. So I just click the black select tool top left in this little toolbar here. If for some reason you can't see that toolbar or this toolbar over here, you go to view and you should see that these three things are ticked here. Okay, so if it ever vanishes, that's where you need to go to view and just check those three are there. Okay, now while we're talking about toolbars, I'm just going to remove the step block as well, because otherwise it kind of jumps to certain bits that I don't want to do it. I want to be able to free draw it as much as I can. Okay, so I've just drawn a rectangle. I'm just going to highlight that and go to col at the top here, so for line col, and make that red. Okay, so top left one down, or left one in, it's the same color. That's the color for cutting. Okay, so it's going to cut that square in whatever shape I'm going to have. Now I need to make sure that's the right size. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use something called dim lines. So I click on here, okay, and I'm going to draw from as accurate as I can, okay, from the left to the right. Now it'll vanish when I kind of get over the line, okay, and I want to just go from the top to the bottom, trying to make it as straight as I can. There you go. When it vanishes, it's on the line. Okay, so at the moment that's 166 by 30. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this select arrow again, highlight the whole thing. It's important that I both select the object and the dimensions, and then what I can do is I can just walk that in. Okay, not that accurate, but it'll give you an idea. Okay, so I can go, I'm looking for about 150, and that's 150.34. okay, I might just go 1 mil bigger just to be sure. There you go, so 51.3. And this way I wanted it to be approximately 20. So I'm going to say, if I get it to 20, maybe 21, something like that. Maybe a tickle bigger. There you go. Okay, so that's going to be fine. All right, once I'm happy with that, it's about 150, maybe a little bit more, and that's about 20, maybe a little bit more. I can just delete those bits there. Okay, so I just click on it and push the delete button on your keyboard to remove that. Otherwise, if I send that to the laser cutter, it will actually etch those numbers and those lines in. Okay, so I'm happy with that box. The next thing is I need to pick a shape. Okay, so I'm going to go and use, grab a browser. So I'm going to use Chrome, okay, and you use Firefox or Safari, whatever's available to you. And we're just going to do a little bit of a search. Okay, so I'm going to make something. What can I make? Let's have a look. I'm just having a look around the room for a quick bit of inspiration. Ah, right, okay, I can see my Henry Hoover. So there you go, there's something daft. I'm going to type in Henry. So I'm going to type in Henry vacuum. Okay, let's see if we can find a nice picture of a Henry. All right, there we go. So whenever I'm searching for something, go to images. Okay, and you'll find all sorts of different pictures. And now remember how the laser cutter works. It's much easier if something's in black and white. Okay, so I'm going to go to Tools over here. So this is so I've typed in what I'm after, click on images and then go to tools, and I can say here black and white. Now this might not work. Let's have a little look. Let's have a look. Is there anything better? Okay, well we're going to just try it with one of them and see what happens. Okay, this might go horribly wrong. We might need to pick something else. In fact, I'm not liking any of these. What can we do? Because I don't think that's going to work very well. Let's try this one. Okay, let's try this one. So click on the picture. You obviously want the picture to be as big as possible. So click on the images. So you're off the search and you actually go to the web page. When it comes up, I'm hoping I can just go right click and copy. Okay, so that's going to take a copy of that picture. I can then go into 2D design, right click and paste. Okay, now normally when they come in, they'll be absolutely massive. Okay, so to fix that, we need to zoom out. So click on the little right hand side over here with the minus button. I'm just going to zoom that out. Okay, and now I want to shrink this down without losing the kind of proportion of it. So if I hold the shift button, so on your keyboard on the left side, the right hand side, there's both like a big arrow up the way. Okay, so I'm going to hold that, grab the corner there, okay, just move it down so that it's kind of about the right size. That's about the right size. So I'm going to move that on top of that. Okay, now obviously I've lost that red line. So while I'm up here, if I go up to this section here, I can say send it to the back. Okay, and that should send it behind that. Okay, so I can now see that. I'll just do that again. So with that selected, up here, okay, this should be, it says, well, now it's saying to the front, but obviously before it said send it to the back. So I can put it sort of layer thing, so it's right at the back. Okay, now I need to get this changed into some format that the computer can understand. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the top to where it says bitmap and then vectorize. Select the image. Okay, now I could try grayscale. Let's see what does that look like. Okay, so I could that, or I could try monochrome. How does that look? Now, if I do that, I can kind of fiddle around with the darkness. Obviously, if it's too dark, it might not quite work. Grayscale, maybe a bit better. I'm going to try that. Okay, so we're experimenting here. I've not actually done this before. Oh. Yes, that was okay. So that looks okay. I think the computer will be able to kind of cope with the different levels. So I'm going to say okay, and okay again. Now it might take a little second or two here because obviously it's processing. Now it comes up, the next big decision I need to make with whatever shape I'm doing is, do I want to contour it? Now contour means get the computer to draw a red line around the outside of it so it will cut that actual shape, or do I want to just put it in a simple box? Okay, now the simple box, then I just need to grab on the left hand side from the toolbars just a rectangle, make sure that it's in red, and then I can just draw around from sort of the top to the bottom like that, and that will cut that out for me. Okay, so that would cut that out and leave that. Now, if I don't want that, if I actually want it to be, in this case, Henry shaped, I'm just going to take one step back, so it's Control and Z. Word of warning, with 2D design, you've only got the ability to step back once. So if it makes a mistake, stop, go Control and Z, or up the top here, Edit Undo, okay, but you only get one step back. All right, I'm hoping we'll get the new version installed soon, which has multiple step backs, but at the moment we've only got one. Okay, so if you make a mistake, stop, wind it back, Control Z or Edit Undo. Okay, so I'm going to try and contour this. So to contour, on the left hand side of the toolbar, okay, this one here, so if I hover over it says contour, change it to 0, so it contours like on the line rather than being, and make sure it's on red. It's on red. I'm just going to click there and see what happens. Now that's not worked. Okay, can you see if I did that, it would cut all these bits around here, and the whole thing would just fall to bits. Okay, so that's no good. All right, so before going anywhere, I'm just going to go Control and Z and back. Now what I could do, if I was desperate for it to be Henry shaped, then I might have another go, and this time, so I'm going to try again, and this time I'm going to say 1 mil. Okay, so it'll still be Henry shaped. Let's see if that's any better. No, it's still... Ooh, I don't know what happened there. Try again. Yeah, see, it's trying to draw them in the lines here, and obviously because it's 1 mil, it can't cope with it. Okay, so that's not a thing. We can't do that. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could just get the series of lines, this one here, draw a series of connected lines, and I could just go dot 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 all the way around there. Okay, kind of in there, and just take sort of 5 minutes to go all the way around as nicely as I can, and that would give me a Henry shaped thing. Okay, I'm just, for the sake of this video, just for speed, okay, I'm just going to draw a box around it. Okay, so bring it in. Okay, I might bring that in as well, just so I'm not wasting anything there. Okay, so that would cut out, so it's going to laser etch the pattern on there, and then it would cut that round there. Now, what do I want to do? Now, the other thing is, I need to think about it as a back plate, because this is going to cut a gap in there where the PCB is going to go, but I need something behind that. So the easiest thing to do there, if it'll let me, is just select that box there. I'm going to go Control and C for copying, over to the side, Control and V to paste. Just move that over there, and I'm just going to make this box bigger. So I'm just going to grab the corner of it, make it a bit longer and a bit wider, like that. Okay, because that will fit. Let me just practice. That will fit on the back there. As you can see, look, if I just kind of hang it over the top, it'll go over the back of that, which gives me a space to glue it in. Okay, so that'll be fine. Now, what do I need to have on here? Well, ideally, there's going to be a hole here, okay, for the battery snap to go through. Now, you could drill that's quite fiddly because it's a big hole. It's about 14 mil. So it's much easier with laser. So I'm just going to do this. This will be the last little step. So I'm going to hold that down there on the circle tool, move across one to the circle with a given center and radius. And I'm going to type in here that the radius I want is 7. Okay, because obviously I want to double that to give me the 14. Okay, check it's in red. Yep, and I'm just going to put it to one side or the other. Now, obviously, it doesn't matter which side it is because when you decide which way you want it around, you could just turn it around the other way. But it does need to be to one side like that. Okay, and when I've got something like that, that is good to go. Okay, now remember how to send it to the laser cutter. You just open up email. So if you look on my screen at the bottom left, there's a little O for the thing. When that comes up, click on New, top left. Start typing laser cutter. That's LASERCUR, and it'll probably auto-select it anyway. Attach this file on. Make sure you've saved this obviously before you're doing this. Attach it on and email that up to the laser cutter. Hopefully that's been useful for you.